India. Loads of wickets in domestic cricket. 10-time Ranji Trophy winner.
Speaking of my dad this morning, and he came and said he almost got into the Indian team so many times and just missed out eventually by a whisker.
Unfortunate because he played in an era where you had
Waiting right. तो रणनीति में कुछ बदलाव किया है?
नहीं, बदलाव नहीं, मेरे को लग रहा है कप्तान रोहित शर्मा जो है पावर प्ले में अपने सारे गेंदबाज टेस्ट कर रहे हैं कि कौन बाद में बेहतर गेंदबाजी करे, तो सबको मौका दे दिया उन्होंने। अपनी जो भी एक रविंद्र जडेजा रह गए हैं, लेकिन ओवर ही 10 हो गए, क्या करें, आखिरी ओवर है पावर प्ले का, तो बाद में करा लेंगे उनको, वो बहुत अनुभवी गेंदबाज।
पर और सही एग्जीक्यूशन,
ये सही समय पर ये है, जैसे बताया था, उनका खेलने का अंदाज भी अलग है, चलते रहते मान लो जैसे हॉकी खेल रहे हो, वो आगे निकले, पीछे गए, साइड में जाते हैं। और इस बार देखो अंतिम समय जैसे ही लगा बॉल की पिच तक नहीं पहुंचेंगे, अपना शॉट चेक कर लिया, वहीं रोक दिया। ये खूबी है बल्लेबाज के अंदर, रन बनाना जानते हैं ये। और ये जो गेंदबाज है, इनके हाथ में कोई बहुत ज्यादा टर्न नहीं है, आम बॉल का ज्यादा प्रयोग करते हैं, अधिकतर गेंदें इनकी अंदर आती हैं, लेकिन यूजफुल क्रिकेटर हैं। पिछले मैच में गेंदबाजी भी कराई, लेकिन जो बल्लेबाजी में उन्होंने कमाल दिखाया, भारत की जीत का जो आधार है इन्हीं की पार्टनरशिप के साथ रहा था। 15 गेंदों में 16 रन पर हैं स्मिथ। एक समय औसत 7 से ऊपर चला गया था। पिछले 3 ओवर में अच्छी गेंदबाजी हुई और वापस 6.5 से भी नीचे आ गया। स्ट्राइक अपने पास रखेंगे सिंगल के साथ। 63 2 विकेट के अनुसार पावर प्ले की समाप्ति।
घर पर रहो या बाहर जाओ,
It's almost everybody's go-to center. Where do we play cricket? We're not sure. Okay, let's go to the UAE. Who would have thought that after the experiment with Sharjah initially?
Well, Harsha, you're talking about a sequence of deliveries. Harsh, so important for a batter to do the same as well. Daniel Vittori and Travis Head pre-match today, going through the options. Which one's it going to be? What are the cues? What are the tips? Well, he gave himself no chance because that was first ball. Just a little time just to work into his magic here. Travis Head would have been something I'm sure now sitting in the change room he may well consider.
If you talked, Michael, to Hados would have said sweep.
Well, Chakravarti doesn't look an easy bowler to sweep to me. Tall action, high arm, quite brisk pace, gets a lot of overspin on the ball. I'm not sure it would be my preferred option.
Now, the reason I said that was we got tired of watching Hados sweep against India.
Yeah, it's who you sweep and what conditions do you keep. There's no way in the world that I would have been looking to sweep, that's for sure, because of that obvious statistic that he is at your stumps. It's just bowling to hit the stumps. And even if it is turning a fair bit, then that gives you a better option, but it's not huge turn.
One of the successes India had against New Zealand was against a team that loves sweeping. I think the stats were that sweep 30% or 10-12% of all the spin deliveries they get. They kept them down to 17 shots. The shot wasn't on. Against Chakravarti, look at the speeds in this over. 95, 94, 97. Actually, here's a point for it too. If you're watching the troubles that Varun Chakravarti is creating in the minds of people, who always taught as a young kid to watch the ball out of the hand, are we seeing less and less of that? With the sidearm throws, maybe with T20 cricket, maybe not quite seeing the hand as closely. in the next over, maybe 66 for 2 from 11. That was a catch Shubman Gill took. Now the umpire's having a word with him. Just wonder whether it was about hang on to that catch a little bit more. So I think the effective word was, were you in control? And that's a call the umpire's got to take.
Now wrong with that. He was absolutely in control of the catch. Famous example, of course. You were playing in, were you, Haydos? 99? No? Herschel Gibbs?
Famous comment from Steve Waugh. Have you dropped the World Cup? Nasty stuff. The point is that you have to also be in control of your body. But I have no problems with that at all. Very good athlete. When you look at the catch itself, there was perfect line to the ball, and then he had great control through his hands, stabilised. Look, how many steps afterwards? 1, 2, 2.5, almost 3 steps, no problems. But good that he actually acknowledged the point as well. You could see in that little exchange there that Shubman Gill didn't take it for granted. He was like, yep, gotcha. I appreciate what you're saying. Your job is to umpire. My job's to catch the ball. But question is, control, 100%.
Good on the umpire too, to bring it up in that tone of mind. Look, I know you caught the catch, but just be aware of this. Just 3 off it, 16 balls in the last boundary, 69 for 2.
6 में से एक कपल को
About reading out of the hand, and in particular Varun Chakravarti out of the hand. England's players definitely struggled with him in the 3-match series prior to this tournament. He was a late addition to the squad, of course, the final selection really in place of Shazvi Jaiswal, because he impressed in that 3-match series. Looks difficult to read, doesn't he? High arm. Ball not coming out the same way all the time. Maybe slightly beyond the perpendicular.
There's much variation in pace as of the deck, but if you weren't reading him, would you almost play him as a googly bowler?
I guess not dissimilar to how batters might have played Anil Kumble back in the day. On a decent surface, before the ball started to spin, and there was no more difficult bowler to face when the ball was spinning than Anil Kumble, because of the pace that he bowled and the bounce that he got. But when the ball wasn't spinning, you almost just played him like a medium pace in-swing bowler and looked to hit him to mid-on all the time and didn't really worry about the ball challenging the outside edge. But when the ball spun, then a nightmare, because of the pace and the height. impossible to get down the pitch to. There's just a little bit of that in the way that Varun Chakravarti bowls.
Isn't it funny where perception meets reality? In my head, I had him bowling a lot more wrong-uns than what that graphic showed us there.
I must admit, I'm very surprised seeing that, because the eye was suggesting there were a lot more wrong-uns.
And the eye also catches maybe the wrong delivery a little bit more than the leg spinner, but stats rarely lie, and when you really look at that, give yourself not just a flip of the coin, you've got to add another coin in there as well.
He was asked about that in the press conference, and he said there's only three things that the ball does. Either comes in, goes out, or goes straight.
One thing that we've learned, he's pretty good at all of them, because at the moment he's making maximum impact here. 1 for 11 already. He'll be looking to get Marnus Labuschagne out, who's hoovering up balls here at this stage. 4 off 10. Can't afford to get strangled at the crease.
Keep an eye on the ball since the last